Well, it's time for us to dive back into the psychological horror realm. And by that, we mean a little movie called Se7en. So, Seven, named for the 7 deadly sins. It's a movie. To me, this is probably one of my favorite psychological horror / thriller movies. To me, it's just got so much going for it. I mean, great performances, great direction, and a hell of an atmosphere. I mean, just like suffocating almost with it, with how downtrodden it is with its atmosphere. And this to me was my first exposure to David Fincher as a director. And this was back when I was... Actually, when this movie came out, I was 7 years old. Y'all wasn't even born yet.
No.
Y'all wasn't even a twinkle in your daddy's eye. No.
Well, it depends what month it was in 95.
True. Very true. Very true. I watched this film when I was about 10. It was about 98 when I was finally able to watch it. And I gotta be honest, it didn't disappoint. It blew me away as a kid. And as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate the film more and more for how deep it goes with a lot of things, with a lot of psychological aspects, and a lot of very the disturbing nature of humanity, and like how far humanity has supposedly fallen since the ideal days of American life. But anyway, so neither of you have seen this film.
No. I know something about a box.
Okay, well that's fair. That's fair. So,
and I quote that a lot, and everyone goes, "You haven't seen that, Heather?" And I go, "I know."
Yeah. So, honestly, for me, I like when I hear people talk about, okay, so far for this Spoopstober, what's been probably your favorite film that we watched?
Ooh. I mean, not Mothman, that's for damn sure.
Oh, that was just a disappointment. I mean,
you got so lucky last night. You got to skip recording. It was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm sad that you missed Alien, because I think you would have liked it.
Alien was good, yeah.
Yeah.
Mothman was shit.
Mine was probably actually Don't Breathe so far.
Don't
Breathe? Don't Breathe was really good. That was a hell of a ride.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it, because it
made me want to watch A Quiet Place. Does that make sense?
That's the other one. That's the fifth one. That's the fifth one we discussed.
Yeah.
Because we talked about the movies that we...
Well, now I want to watch that one right now.
Well,
hey, wait for Nick. I want Nick to be here for that one.
For A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
We've seen that.
Oh, you both seen that? Yeah,
we've both seen it. It was really good.
So yeah, we'll probably do A Quiet Place here soon.
Yeah.
Because we've had some good ones so far. I would say the best one, in terms of y'all's reaction, was Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest,
Don't Breathe was good.
Yeah.
That, and also, even though y'all didn't like the film as much, the reaction to Cabin in the Woods is priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless. So good.
I mean, we liked it. It was just...
Wasn't what you were expecting?
It wasn't what I thought it was. Like...
That's the idea of the film.
I must have been thinking of...
Uh-oh.
There are people.
I'm scared.
Oh, I know that sound.
I
know that sound.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Those of you who couldn't see that was Clinton coming down here yelling, "I'm Pickle Rick!"
And in a pickle costume.
In a pickle costume.
What are they streaming? Metro
and some
last
numbers.
Last
night, I think.
Metro and some numbers is the stream.
2033.
I didn't even
2033. You'll have to up there. That's what's going on up there. So if you want to see the pickle costume, go find that stream.
Yeah. That was
that's
gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be on that.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the movie Se7en, we've got it queued up here. Thankfully, it's on Netflix, so if you all want to check it out, feel free to do it there. And hey, I will get it on screen. On screen. Oh my God, why you be so difficult?
I kind of wish that he would have like ran into frame.
Yeah.
I wish so too. I wish he would have ran on, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Oh, he knew. He just.
I don't. Maybe he just didn't want to.
Maybe. I don't know. So this is Se7en. We're going to get it on screen finally, and we're going to give it a watch. This is on Netflix, so feel free to check it out. All right. He looks exactly the same. It's been 20 plus years, and he looks exactly the same. Packing a switchblade. Very nice.
If the kids see it, who gives a fuck? He's dead. His wife killed him. Anything else has nothing to do with us.
You apathetic prick. No compassion. This opening always like creeped me the hell out.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. It's just like, ugh.
Howard Shore.
Yep.
He did Lord of the Rings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. That's a remixed version of Closer.
I just, like, when that popped in, I went, how did I not?
Well, yeah, there was actually, Trent Reznor actually had like a 13-minute version of that song, and they wanted him to cut it down to like 6 minutes. And the version that he cut down to 6 minutes was the one that got really popular. And the rest of it, he put on like an extended version of that album, The Fragile.
That's a song no one expected me to know. But
What? It's 9 Inch Nails. I mean, it's just, it's a great song.
it's a good song.
And plus, that right there is actually the first interaction between David Fincher and Trent Reznor, because in David Fincher's later films, Trent Reznor would be him and Atticus Ross would be the composers for all of Fincher's films ever since The Social Network. Should have packed an umbrella.
I was like, that would have been one hell of an Andy Griffith episode.
What, Barney Fife finding a murder and just being like, I think he's dead, Andy. And then he's like, he ain't dead, Barney. Well, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
This will be the very definition of swift justice.
Damn. Greed. Gluttony.
This was found on the wall behind the refrigerator.
That's not even my desk.
Expect 5 more of these.
This ain't even my desk.
Wait a minute.
Why do I feel like that's something Heather would do?
Is that something you do, Heather? You'd pick up the phone and just be like, this isn't even my desk, sorry.
I feel like I've done it, is the thing.
Damn.
It's my wife.
Sorry?
She'd like to speak to you.
Okay.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
All right.
Subway.
It'll go away in a minute.
Real estate guy. Fucking piece of... Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey. Now every time he says, "Baby, did I rock your world?" She goes, "Hold on." Okay, we're good now.
Can you imagine having sex when that happens?
I feel like my whole world's shaking.
You bring a girl home for the first time and don't tell her.
Can you imagine her surprise? She'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell is this?"
And now I'm thinking, oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr.
Who's bound?
Nate, you needed a good laugh. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
you really did.
I did, yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Fuck Sony Music of Japan.
And also, I forgot about that earlier. I'm like, you can have the Kit Kats. You need Kit Kats. Pet.
Man, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that I took like a lot of criminal justice classes, and I've done like fingerprinting. That shit is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Take a look. I've been there.
Wake up, Glimmer twins. Got it, Glimmer.
And make sure you hadn't drooled on yourself.
This guy goes by the name of Victor. His real name is Theodore Allen.
One guy come down the hall, he's like, "I'm gonna go to." Oh shit! Just back up against the wall like I didn't do nothing. I do nothing. I'm not in any one way.
Morning, sweetheart. Get up now, motherfucker. Now!
Oh, fuck me.
Dex! You wanna come take a look at this? God damn.
This picture was dated 3 days ago.
You got what you deserved.
Nobody expects him to be alive.
Well, no, he looks dead.
Yeah.
Who's crime scene? Get the fuck out of here.
I got a right to be here.
Get out of here. Get out!
Hey! Get out! I got a fucking right to be here.
Get out!
Jerk! Jeez, fuck you. I got your picture, man.
Oh, yeah?
I got your picture.
Oh, yeah? Detective Mills. M-I-L-L-S. Fuck off. Fuck you.
How did they get here so fucking quick?
Still, time of yours to work now.
Been talking to my wife. Retarded.
Put that silver tongue of yours to work. You been talking to my wife?
Name off a computer.
Mills.
Well, right on the money.
That's me.
Well,
Yeah, probably.
no, that's Ben.
Yeah.
Ben's just like, stupid. Stupid.
What's money we got left?
That's bending the law. But honestly, if it's to catch a piece of shit like this, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow. Talk about an edgelord Christian.
Somerset! Somerset! Yeah.
What? We had it. What are you talking about?
Fucking top front of fucking stairs.
And when we let go.
Come on, this way. We're working on it. We're looking for the guy.
We'll dine it down. You and him.
You like what you do for a living? These things you see? No. No, I don't. But that's life, isn't it?
He made me do it. He put that thing on me. And he made me wear it. Then he told me to fuck her. And I did. I fucked her. Oh God, oh God, oh God, he had a gun in my mouth. The fucking gun was in my throat.
You knew I'd say yes.
They were here.
Your wife called me, but get yourself an answer machine.
Detective.
After this, I'm
Detective. No big surprise. You're looking for me.
There's a van coming down the road. Be ready for anything now. Wait for my signal. Wait for me.
You've made quite a life for yourself, Detective. You should be very proud.
Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit.
John Doe has the upper hand.
Bills!
Here he comes.
What?
I wish I could have lived like you did.
What the fuck you talking about?
You hear me? I'm trying to tell you how much I admire you. And your pretty wife. Tracy.
What'd you fucking say?
What the fuck's you talking about?
Give me your gun.
What's going on over there?
Put your gun
I'll show
down.
you in the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put your gun down.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Not take it. Give me the
What's in
gun.
the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
Just told
You lie! You're a fucking liar! Shut up!
That's what he wants. He wants you to shoot him.
No! No!
you. She begged for her life, Detective.
Shut up!
She begged for her life.
Shut up.
And for the life of the baby inside of her.
Come!
he didn't know.
David, if you kill him, he will win.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh!
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
Well,
that was the thing that happened.
yeah.
I didn't think he was going to shoot him, but he also was very young and
Emotional.
yeah. So I was like, he's going to do it, but I'm like really hoping he doesn't.
Well, okay, there's a lot about the ending of this film. A lot of this, the ending of this film generated a shit ton of controversy because the bad guy won.
Mm-hmm.
He won. That's the most shocking part of it. Is not only did he win, but everything went according to his plan.
Yeah.
And the funniest, the thing is, this film's ending almost didn't happen. The studio, when they saw this cut of the film with this ending, they said, "No, we don't like this ending, and we want you to change it." Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, when they heard the studio was going to do that, they went to the studio and said, "You keep this ending, or we walk from all the promotion,
Oh, you've
everything."
told me that.
Yeah, and that right there, they wanted to keep that ending so much because it was just...
So...
it's something that isn't seen often. I mean...
I didn't know that was Brad Pitt this whole time.
It's okay.
But I wouldn't have unless I didn't see the credits.
But funny enough, this film has it's when it first came out, it got a lot of hype, but over time people have been discovering it more and more and more and seeing it as one of the best thriller / psychological horror films out there, because and even the creep factor goes up even more because of who the main villain is, Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's topical. And to me, I still feel like this film holds up. I mean, it's been out for 23
really
years.
Yeah.
Did y'all like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
And but that the whole thing with John Doe winning in the end, they actually thought of a different ending. To my knowledge, they did film it, but they never have shown it.
Mm-hmm.
Somerset talks to Mills, comes up to him, and asks him for his gun and everything, and Mills relents and actually gives his gun to Somerset, and then starts breaking down crying. And then John Doe looks to and John Doe starts to worry that his plan has fallen to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And to which Somerset goes over to John Doe and pretty much says, "You lose." And then he points the gun at John Doe's head and pulls the trigger. So Somerset, in the other ending they filmed, Somerset was the one who ruined John Doe's plan by him being the one to strike him down. not out of vengeance, but out of something else.
So maybe I'm a terrible, like, sick person, but I kind of thought that what was going to be in the box was going to be the actual fetus.
That was something they had talked about as well, about something to do with the fetus as it was, and it was actually going to be in the original cut. From what Fincher wanted, he wanted the fetus to be in her mouth.
I thought about that too. I was like, man,
like
that could
her
have...
head, like her, according to how Fincher wanted it, the image he had in his mind was her head facing up as the box was opened, and inside of her mouth was the fetus. Inside of her mouth, wide open after it's at that to me, but the studio wouldn't sign off on it because
like it's too
that would
extreme.
get an NC-17 rating, no problem, because that's some despicably crazy shit, especially back in the 90s. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, the 90s are edgy as hell." Keep in mind, this is before the Saw films, guys. This is before all of like the torture gore porn films have come out. Instead back then, there was a little bit of violence, but overall, like, people have said this is one of the like reviewers back in the day said this is one of the goriest films that they remember, and I'm like, it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that gory.
And actually, I attribute that to David Fincher, and his direction. He shows you the pieces and he shows you the outcome, and your mind puts together what happened. That's just like The Lust Victim. When you see the thing, when you see the codpiece, and then when you see the person who he put it on, and you hear the terror in his voice as he was told to do this, and it's just like, holy shit. It's just some despicable shit. And your mind does all the work for you, because the kill that you don't see is oftentimes more gruesome than the kill you do see. Because Fincher's not afraid of putting anything on film. Like, he will put literally any, like, terrible, awful thing on film if it's worth the shot, if it's worth it. And one reason he hates Hollywood producers so much is because they can't stand it when something can't be marketed to a more broad audience, because movies are a money making business in Hollywood, and that's where all the money is. And I'm hoping that now, Heather, seeing a David Fincher film like this, would you like to see a Mothman film directed by David Fincher with this kind of directing?
I think it'd be better than what we fucking watched last night.
Well, yeah, that's not difficult.
God, I bet Stephen King could do better.
No. Say what you want. Mothman Prophecies is a shit ton better than Maximum Overdrive. Maximum Overdrive is nuts. Is a nutcase of a movie.
Like, gosh. Anyway, I don't know why, but I am so fucking exhausted after watching that.
Well, yeah, it's an emotionally exhausting film because, it takes you on a hell of a ride, especially through the human psyche. It's just like you see all the like dark corners of the human psyche in terms of all the horrible things that we do to each other on a daily basis, and it makes you question, how apathetic are you? Like, how apathetic is the world? How little do we care about one another to the point of where we allow these things to happen and we don't even do anything about it? I mean, it's a broad question, and honestly, this film, it goes over like the crippling fear of it all. Just like how apathetic has humanity become to the point of where we allow these kind of things to happen. Murders go unavenged, rapists walk free, and all that. I mean, I think about that, and it makes me just sick to some degree. But
yeah.
I also understand that this world is not perfect. I mean, if the world were perfect and, and all the people who were guilty were to be punished and all the people who were innocent, got off scot-free, then honestly, we wouldn't live in a human world. We just live under the perfect judgment of God, which, depending on what you believe out there, I don't mean to throw religion too far into it because I know a lot of people out there aren't overly religious, but in terms of what I believe, in the perfect system of like pure juris brutus, with what humanity is judged for, Judgment Day. They talk about Judgment Day where you will be confronted by God and you either will confess and be forgiven or you'll be cast into you'll be cast into hell. To which, hey, that's that's another thing too. It's just and also they bring in the 7 deadly sins, Dante's Inferno, Purgatory, Geoffrey Chaucer, the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
They bring in all these things that tie into Catholic and like Christian inspired literature, and it just like you look at how we are now in terms of our morals, in terms of how loose we are morality wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't give a thought to how many people die overseas from starvation. You start thinking about shit like that, and all of a sudden your entire world just goes, "Oh my God, I'm a terrible person."
I mean, I don't know. I do.
No, I think about it a lot. And,
yeah.
And
I really do.
Well, and that's when I learned to count my blessings, because albeit this world that I live in, the country I live in, the people I'm around, nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. But I count my blessings every day as to I live in a world, or I live in a place around people that actually care about me to some degree.
That give you Kit Kats and make you laugh.
Yes. Which I appreciate that. And then, of course, there's jackasses out there who seek to do nothing but
shoot you with Nerf guns.
No, try and tear me down and try and make me feel like I don't matter.
Thanks,
and
Sony.
Oh.
Thank you, Sony. Thank you. Really, thank you. I want you to know that I value what you do, and if I could, I would honestly chuck my PS4 at your office building at this point.
Unfortunately,
I'm so pissed at you.
Spider-Man was good. Anyway.
No, Spider-Man. No.
Yeah,
you see,
actually,
no, I take it back.
PlayStation 4.
Sony Music. If I could meet a head from Sony Music of Japan and just be like, "Hey, why is this happening to me?" And they'll just be like, "We don't know.
Why can't I have nice things?"
Oh, I know why I can't have nice things, because the world's not fair. The world never has been and never will be. That's just the cold hard fact of life.
I need to eat and
apparently
sleep.
I'm hungry. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed what you've seen here. This was Se7en. Once again, this was Spoopstober. And if you are enjoying what you are seeing here, feel free to check out our Patreon, where we have the full versions of the films that we've watched for all of Spoopstober. And if you're watching this on our Dropbox, if you want to leave a comment, comments can be left over here. Comments on YouTube left down there. And signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Kara.
I'm Mothman.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out.